You with the boxing guru. For this episode Under the Microscope, we're going to focus in on last night big fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe. Oh man, it was electrifying. Take take my hat off, give props to Canelo. He definitely could bring the fans out. Bring them out, bring them out. Yes, he definitely did. He filled up the AT&T Stadium in Jerry's world. Jerry was happy. The whole night was a lit event for boxing fans, Latino, Mexican fans. It was definitely a entertaining show as far as that because it made history. It put 73,000, I think they said. That was the biggest in U.S. for an indoor fight. I think that broke the was that the Ali versus Spinks fight in the Superdome, or I didn't know if it broke Pernell against Chavez. That was my first fight when they was in the Alamo Dome. So yes, it definitely was electrifying. So definitely give shots out to Canelo. He's definitely the alpha cash of boxing. But we're gonna jump right into the video. As I looked at the fight last night, it's a shame that Billy Joe Saunders, he had beautiful work in some of the rounds where he was circling as a southpaw to get away from Canelo's right hand because that's Canelo's lead punch, his right hand. So if you circle against him as a southpaw, you force Canelo to pick his feet up and turn, and that kills the clock. I was very disappointed in Billy Joe Saunders' attack, his game plan throughout the fight. But like I said before the fight, when you step in the square circle with Canelo Alcatraz, you just settle for the cash. You get a big payday, you get a monumental retirement package. So it's best for you to, get in there and let the champ, the king of the boxing world right now, do his thing and you bow out gracefully. They saying that he had an orbit bone broken. Yes, he kept dipping into the uppercut. I didn't understand that. You're the taller fighter. You don't bend down to the shorter fighter. He throwing uppercuts and you dipping right into it. That was a no-no in boxing. So the game plan was very, suspect to me. Because he was supposed to be sticking and moving all night long, circling, throwing punches, even though he's not a big, heavy puncher, but his volume of punches would have offset Canelo and the angles. Those are very key in boxing. Boxing angles, pivoting, and using your jab as a counter mechanism, not as the lead punch sometimes. You just want to counter the Canelo as he comes in just to offset him. So I was very disappointed in that aspect. But like I said, that's part of the game when you're dealing with Canelo. But next on is Caleb Plant. Sweet hand Caleb Plant. He's my number 3 coldest white boy in the game behind Tyson Fury, Josh Taylor. Then it comes Caleb Plant. He's supposed to fight Caleb Plant September, probably back in Texas again. Al gonna let that happen because you have to, because you can't stand in the way of history, boxing history. It's a no-no in the rules of boxing. Even though you have different entities as far as Top Rank, the Zone Matchmaker, all that in PBC. But when it's a deal like that, you can't stand in the way of it. Al just would get a cut off for Caleb Plant's money. That's all he would do. So they would send Caleb over there. Caleb definitely has the arsenal to beat Canelo, in my opinion. I believe in the science of boxing. I always tell people the science of boxing. A good big man beats a good little man. Canelo is definitely little for that division at 168. But, since he's the alpha cash, everybody going to go along with it. They're going to make career paydays. Caleb Plant just got married. I don't know if he just had a baby or what. No, I don't think he just had a baby, but he just got married. He's just building a resume as a top fighter. He's a champ. So it wouldn't be no harm for him to sell out like the rest of the fighters do when they step in the ring, besides Mayweather against Canelo Alvarez, because like I always tell people, only a king could beat a king. And based on this king with Canelo Alvarez, he's drawing in the money, so you already know the game plan. You're supposed to step aside, because big bank take little bank. That's the rule of life. When you have big money, you can sit back and wait, and then the other little money will run out. So in my opinion, Caleb Plant will get in there, sweet hands, do the typical things that boxer does. With sweet hands, he can move around the ring. Because if you saw last night, Canelo was definitely slowing his foot movement when Billy Joe kept distance and using the proper angles. Canelo couldn't get off. He was winging shots, trying to find that right-hand target, and he was missing it. So it's definitely a recipe to beat him easily. That's why he's not on my pound for pound as the best fighter, because he's definitely is very flawed. If you watch carefully last night, I'm not here to try to hate, I'm here to educate. So you have to pay attention to what's going on in the ring, because sometimes they lull people to sleep and you miss out on the key points. Some people just look for the big shots or don't understand nothing about the sport of boxing, the art of it. So it's up to the individuals to listen and learn about the sport. So in my opinion, it's definitely going down. Canelo will definitely be the unified champ, in my opinion, because he definitely has big cash. But last night, it was a big event. I watched it. You know, I was happy for the sport of boxing, but like I said, I was looking for it to be highly entertaining, more compelling. Billy Joe letting his hands go. These are the words for the one and only boxing guru. I'm going to show you photos in this video why Billy Joe lost the fight. If you look here at the photo, how Canelo Alvarez was able to get his right hand off, his lead right hand. Billy Joe was supposed to circle around to nullify this. He was never supposed to square up with Canelo to let Canelo be able to get right hands off like this. This was part of the setup plan for Canelo to hit Billy Joe with the uppercut. If you look right here, this when Billy Joe was doing successful work. If you see carefully, Billy Joe's right counter jab is countering Canelo and the placement. Look at his placement. That is key when you're fighting a conventional fighter like Canelo's. He's on the outside of his jab, so that would nullify that right hand.
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 Come get it.